Hey, what's up? It is Ricky Danielle Smalls, and I am here with the Delivered from People podcast. We're doing something a little different this time, and you guys haven't heard from me in about a month. We'll get to that later, but we are excited. Well, I am excited to be here with my oldest son, Christian John
I'm
Ramsey.
excited too.
So, I had Christian on November 28th, 2000. He is my oldest son out of three children. Both my sons are named after kings. Obviously, Christian is named after Christ, and my middle son, Josiah, is named after one of the kings of the Bible. But I wanted to have a conversation about relationships between kids and their parents. I have a lot of questions to ask Christian, some that I do not know the answer to, so this is going to be pretty cool. Uh,
Mhm.
Chris, tell us more about yourself.
What's going on? Yeah, I'm Chris, of course, Y2K baby, as you heard. Shout out to that 2000 babies. But I'm glad to be here. There's a lot of conversations and stuff as a kid where I was like, I just always wondering if we would ever get to a point to be able to talk about, because when you like generally like when you first asked me about the idea, it just kind of hit my mind as in like everything's always been cool, and like we really worked on a really good relationship together. So I'm excited to be here.
Yes. Um, I was just thinking about, like, was it this week or last week? I picked up Christian and we were in the car and I was like, do this reel with me. Like my new things are reels and TikToks. I try to do them a little bit. And he's always like, nah, man, nah. I'm like, come on,
I'll just
man.
be trying to stay off the TikTok, but honestly, TikTok's where it's at. I don't. I still don't have TikTok, but I might just get it.
Really?
Yeah, I really, I might just get it. It's really
No.
where it's at.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I post, but I don't really use it like that. Like I
Hmm.
just stick to the reels on Instagram. But the reel was about um how I thought that Christian's teenage years would just totally kill our relationship. But the fact is that, we ended up being the best of friends because now, Chris, you're how old?
21,
21.
21,
21.
21.
I got a 21-year-old, y'all.
That's
Like,
crazy.
what? So, even with that, I'm 40, right? So, I had Chris when I was 19. And 19 might seem old to some people, but in reality, like you're still a baby. And I had to realize that even like with Christian, like, it was always like, oh, when you're 18, you out of here. When you're 18, you're on your own, da da da. And I had to really learn that that is just not the case. Even
Hmm.
though I was super independent at 18 and 19, I had moved out pretty early of my house, of my mom's house, and I just wanted to be on my own. I just did. I wanted to move out and moved in with my sister, and I paid real bills. My senior year of high school, like at the end, like I started. So, but
Yeah. I also have
um,
a lot of respect for you too. Like being at this age, past the age where y'all had me, I'm like
yeah,
having a kid. Oh, I cannot imagine having
I
a
know,
little me right here having to worry about all the time.
right. I have to say that I was super mature. I just knew what I wanted, and I wanted to be on my own. So, but
Kudos to you.
man, I'm saying though, but when I had you, that's a whole nother story. That really grew me up fast. At the same time, I felt like you and I grew up together too because I
Hmm.
was so young. So, what is it like to be the oldest child?
Man, it's a roller coaster.
So, I am the youngest in my family. I am the baby and always looked to as the baby, even though I'm 40 years old. It's just always going to be like that. How to get over that. But you are the oldest.
Right.
And I've never asked my older sisters, like, what does it feel like to be the oldest? But what does it feel like to be the oldest child?
And like it's like a roller coaster. It's honestly I was very spoiled, and I appreciate that. Like I'm always been just thankful for that. But I grew up almost selfish. Like I had to really learn how to share really, really fast. And not
Okay.
only did my grandparents help me, but like that really like having siblings, I had to understand how to share and how everybody has to come together and stuff. Because I mean, what you got pregnant with Josiah, and it was just like wow, like I'm gonna have like another person that I know is gonna look up to me off the rip. Then I have
Right.
my dad, and he has a son, and I'm just
Right.
like, oh my gosh, like this is real. This is real. I'm really, oh, I'm the oldest. Like I have little siblings. Like I have to, and I have little dudes. I'm gonna have to always watch out for, like give my life to. You know, it's really cool too, though. And then
Right.
of course, yeah, London, the third, and it's just like wow. Now I got a whole bunch. Now just a whole bunch. You gotta always look out for each other. You know, I'm
Yeah.
excited for them to grow up too, because like I just really want us to be extra close, like
Yeah.
super close, and I just want everybody, to do what they have to do. And
Yeah.
it comes to that's my responsibility as the oldest.
Right.
That I can literally picture out everything for them that they might not know and that y'all could miss as parents just simply because y'all have to worry about your lives too.
Right.
I could easily draw that out for them and help them. It's exciting.
Yeah.
It helps me grow too, considering I don't have a kid. Like I don't. That's my replacement for a kid. I got little siblings.
Right.
10 years away. That's half from us. So that's
Yeah.
cool right now.
Yeah, let's stick
Cool.
with that. No babies right now. Let's stick with
You
that.
don't need them.
Okay, so I get that. I get that. I never honestly thought about that, but you were alone for a long time. But yeah, once I had Josiah, then it was Tino right back to back. I think they're
Hmm.
like a year.
Back to back, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, literally.
yeah.
That's when I was
And
like,
then
oh, okay. This is actually like,
right.
wow.
And
Nah,
then, London 2 years later. So yeah, and I just love how close all of y'all are. And even with your other brother, like my kids are close. They love Tino. They're
right.
just
They call each
like,
other brothers, sisters.
oh my
Yeah.
God, all day, like on the phone 24
Hmm.
7, go to each other's games
I
and
love
stuff.
that.
So yeah. And speaking of that, what is it like being raised in two different households? And, that would probably be a book that you can write. So you could,
Hmm.
answer that to the best of your ability. But just a little background. So I am married, and then Christian's dad is married as well. So he has a bonus mom over there, and his little brother, of course. So, yeah, what is that like?
Two different lifetimes.
Yeah,
Like,
I
to
could
be honest,
imagine.
two different lifetimes. And considering like y'all both households took different dynamics. Like it
Yeah,
was the same. Like of course, they were always taking me to church. They always went by that, but it
yeah,
still was completely different dynamics. It was just it was. I got to learn a lot from both, which I was happy about.
yeah,
One, I got to learn about like a lot, but then two, it also came with there's complications and just
yeah, yeah,
just a fight for I like once again I was the oldest. I was the only one at the time. Like
yeah.
everybody, like, you wanted me, he wanted me. It's just it was a blessing. It's like as hard as it could have gotten. Y'all did really good co-parenting.
Yeah.
It was just it was cool to see two different sides of things. And like as a side of things, I mean, y'all raised me up as like just y'all were really together. Y'all were put well together. We aren't really going for anything.
Strict. You want to
Yeah,
say strict? I know you do.
yeah. Y'all are strict. Y'all are so
we
strict.
we were strict.
Y'all are so strict. Like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, I didn't think. I no, I mean, y'all weren't super strict now. Y'all weren't just like, oh, I want to get away, but y'all were strict enough to where on their side of things, they
Yeah.
didn't care about anything at all.
Yeah.
Anything at all. So it was just like,
Yeah.
I don't
I,
know. It was
you know
going
what
through
it
that.
is like I think they cared. So the
Hmm.
thing is I think more so Mario and Maria were like, look, if you're gonna make mistakes, you're just gonna have to learn from it.
Yeah,
where we were like over
trying to prevent
here.
them so bad,
Yeah, we were trying to prevent him so
prevent them. So
bad.
yeah.
Yeah, so I
Hmm.
think you had just, you know, it. Yeah, yeah,
Growing up, that was one thing where like I was actually realizing like I never ever thought one of y'all could like parent worse or better than the other, of course,
yeah,
because both of y'all were growing. One, we were all
yeah,
growing as people, and then
yeah.
two is like just both of y'all first times too. Like
Right,
so,
right.
I never thought about it as that. Like I really appreciated both perspectives.
Yeah, so I think what I love about Christian is that he is constantly looking at the positive side of things. I love that about him. But it also makes me worry because I'd be like, Chris, wait, are you like burying things? Because he'll say something, I'm like, that was a really bad situation, Chris. Like, what you mean? Like, it's all good. And then that's like Christian's thing, everything's all good. And I'm like, no, um, I don't want Christian to bury his trauma and be trying to sort it out in his 30s like me. So I'm
Hmm.
constantly like telling Christian, like, hey, if that's bothering you, you need to work through it now. Like, I promise you, you don't want to
Yeah.
do this in your 30s and 40s. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But, the two households, we all made our mistakes. I know I made mine. Like, oh my gosh. And
Yeah, on that, when you asked me like last year, you had asked
yeah,
me like those set of questions where you just like really wanted to get an understanding that random night when you called me.
right.
I was just like, you know what, like it was crazy that we never really had even got to it for real because like talking about it,
Mm-hmm.
it was just like almost like I felt like it was just not as serious as it should have been, but I was also not really caring as much because
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very stress free person. I
You
don't like having to
are.
worry about drama. I don't like having to worry about
Yeah.
anything else and
Yeah.
having anybody else have to worry about anything I have going on. So
Right.
that's kind of the way I look at things and why I accept
Right.
that
Yeah.
which I still do. I still bury a lot of things.
Yeah. But
It's
see,
just
the thing about it is when you bury things, unfortunately, they could get dug up, later in life with dealing with relationships, getting married, having kids. You know what I
hmm
mean? Like it affects those things. And
it
that's
does.
why, when I called you a year ago, I wanted to have that conversation with you because like I said, I'm dealing with some, stuff now and sorting through stuff in my 30s,
Right.
in my late 30s at that, you know. Um and just now, 2 years ago starting counseling. So, I feel like I made a lot of mistakes, but I don't think it's ever too late to make things right.
Right.
And, that was my thing of just making sure you're okay, you know. But
Yeah.
um
No, I appreciate it. And it was like you understanding that so well back then.
yeah,
If I would have ever like think about talking about it or something, it
yeah,
was just like I don't think I would have got the same answer or response or maybe even like the same understanding, which shows the growth there too.
yeah, yeah.
Because yeah,
I'm
I
just
didn't
happy we could talk about it because a lot of people can't. A lot of parents and kids can't come together and talk about things that hurt so bad. You know what I mean?
hmm
And I just didn't want to have that relationship with you or have, that relationship with the other kids as well.
right. That was one thing too. Growing up, I always wanted to make sure that y'all like wouldn't have to even think about if did I do this right or wrong with JoJo in London. Like I don't
Yeah,
ever like I really wanted y'all to be able to go with them smooth and allow them to, just do what they do. Just make sure you inspire them to go that way. Like
right.
instead of like not a force because I never forced me to do anything, but
Yeah,
instead of worrying about this and that, more just aspiring and letting them find out, but keeping it at a safe pace.
right. And that is admirable of you. You know, first children or the first kid of the family, it could go either way. You could really, really care, or you could be like, man, whatever, because,
Hmm.
I understand that selfish thing that kind of happens. And
It's good to overcare though.
yeah, it is. It is. It is. And it's funny because I can't relate to being, the oldest child, but I know what it's like to have multiple
Hmm.
kids and knowing that the oldest is like that. It's like that test, not like a test. What am I trying to say? Like, that your oldest child, you're going to make all those mistakes and learn from, you know, as far as having kids after that. So it's like, I feel like sometimes Christians always like, man, the first child got it the worst. And I'm like, I could see
Hmm.
that. I could see that because I do feel like by the time you get to that second and third, especially that third, they get away with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
They do. And
Hmm.
I could see that.
Because that
So,
second still was still growing up with the first, so he gonna get the two. But
right.
then look, the first is up and out. Now it's just the second and third. Now it's like, all right,
Yeah. Facts.
okay.
Yeah. What do you think is the hardest part about being a kid, being an adolescent?
Um, from from the mindset I'm trying to take on in life right now, is probably realizing what exactly makes you happy. You
Hmm.
know,
Yeah.
because that takes you a long way in life. Like you can. I didn't want to go on the answer as far as like what you want to do or like
Yeah.
what you want to work on, but like what makes you happy? What do you enjoy doing? That will get you to somewhere that you can be comfortable. Because I feel like starting at a really young age is like really just the code to it all for real.
Mhm.
You get this and get a solid thing going for them and just go with
Mhm.
it and just don't stop. I mean, that the hardest part is just understanding the dream for real. But that's also the funnest part. If funnest
Yeah.
is a word, the more fun part. Because you do get to try a lot of different things and see what you get to do. There's a lot of mistakes in between that too,
Mhm.
but you know, the hardest part is just finding out exactly what makes you happy and keeping that.
That's good. I didn't know what you were going to say to that. That is good. So, give us some background about you being a student athlete.
Yeah, so I've been playing sports. Y'all have had me in sports since I came out the womb for real.
Yeah.
Like I've always been in something
Yeah.
organized since I was little. And just growing up and always having to do school and sports and playing multiple sports, and it was just really fun. It really helps you get into a mindset of just focusing on what exactly you need. And to be a really good student athlete is really just understanding how wherever you're going is producing back to you. How are
Mm.
they, treating you as a player? How are they having the system? Like it's really hard to it's really easy to go to a really bad system that can make you also struggle in your student abilities too. So that the
Mm.
relationship between the coaches is very important to as where you go. Because yeah, as I said, wherever you go, you got to see what they're doing for you too. You're getting your good grades. It's easy to focus and snap on the grades and just get going. Now it's up to them to keep going and keep you motivated as far as what
Right.
you're doing because it's easy to take that motivation out of somebody. A lot of student athletes get it dragged out of them,
Mm.
and I just don't think it's fair. But that's something you got to see, react on before it's too late.
Right. So Christian is being super humble. He, let's see, I put him in basketball when he was, oh my gosh, let's say 4 years old.
Hmm.
And we never stopped because little did I know he was incredibly athletic and
Hmm.
talented. So he went on to play, and it became a year round sport. He traveled starting in fourth
Non-stop.
grade. Yeah, nonstop, nonstop. Up until he graduated, he traveled.
Yeah, I
Uh,
honestly just got like healed from every injury possible.
Many
Cause he
injuries. He
never
also played
ever
football
stopped.
at times. Yeah, so you played football at times as well. Um, Never stopped, and through injuries and all that. Um, Christian was blessed to make the varsity basketball team in high school as a freshman. That was one of his goals, and he succeeded in that. So,
Yeah, next year get
um,
back on the court,
right,
organized.
right. So, being a student athlete who has graduated, but you didn't continue on to college in, athletics, what advice do you have for young adults like you?
All right, so I had a thought about this earlier too, which branched out into the same thing. And honestly, growing up, as far as like life after high school, after graduating, can go two different ways. It could go the school way or the non-school way. And as a student athlete, being outside of that right now, missing out on all the games and all the practices, whatever, just even lifting, that's like I miss it so much. And
Yeah,
it's just like because that's just the whole lifestyle. That's a whole that way of life that you go by and keep going to stay focused by. But by school, I went to Georgia Highlands for a semester too, which is why I was gonna go back to go play for them. School way, you know, that's all you can focus on too,
mm.
cause schoolwork ain't no joke. Them quizzes, all that, they're not no
No
joke. Like some
joke.
people get by and cheat, but you can only cheat for so long before you
Yeah,
realize that you got a F or a D.
yeah,
You know, they don't play. So focusing in that's major. It just takes a lot too. So it's big props to those getting it done and staying on the court or the field. That takes a lot of focus also.
yeah,
But being on both ends, I've honestly I missed the student athlete life for real.
yeah. And I understand that. I know that either way is super difficult,
Hmm.
going on and not playing and then going on and playing. And
Yeah.
even those who have went on to play,
I mean,
who
even
have
not playing and
been,
worried about life and just, like I
yeah,
got bills now and stuff. I mean,
right,
it's cool
right.
too, but it's hard
Yeah,
either way.
yeah, either way, because some who have gone on, to play, they struggle because you're young.
Hmm.
You're 18 years old getting thrown into the world. And you know, your your load, your schedule is so hectic. You
Yeah.
got to make good grades and still hit that court and
I got
train
a lot of
and
partners that been struggling in grades.
yeah,
Like a lot. I'm just
yeah,
blessed to be able to go back even this semester. And
yeah.
no, it's no joke.
Struggling grades, struggle in, being homesick. Like you ain't got no family, no nothing. That's weird sometimes for
Hmm.
kids. Some kids embrace it. They're like, whatever. But some kids, really struggle with that, to have to go on and, you can't see your family. Your family can barely see you play.
Right.
Um, let's not even talk about getting traded, to a not traded. this is this is not the NBA, but let's not forget about, moving schools,
Transferring. Hmm.
transferring. That's the word I
There
was
we
looking
go.
for. Let's not forget transferring, to another school. Um,
That's a
so
big jump too.
it's super difficult. So now we're going to jump over a little bit to some personal stuff about, the relationship between parents and their children. Um, I'm just going to start off with this, like, bam. What would you have changed about our relationship when you were growing up?
Uh, that depends on what you mean by that. Um,
It could be anything. It could be small, it could be big. It could be, whatever
I
comes to
wouldn't,
your mind
as far as
first.
growing up, like before 10 years, I wouldn't change a thing. Like you really did what you had to do. And you like really raised me right and kept me safe and all of that. Like I've never been in danger with you, none of that. So I wouldn't change any of that. I mean, even that those apply to the 10 years too. But you know,
Yeah.
you just loved me so well, and like I really found an understanding for love. But
What advice did your parents give to you that you didn't listen to, but you wish you would have?
a lot of things. I gotta think of the. I don't know. I can't go specific because there's a lot of little things you gotta tell me and just okay. And I go on my own and do it. And it's like, oh nah, should have did that. That happens on a daily. So but in general, shoot, would probably be it would probably be just mm, there's a lot of girl advice y'all was giving me that I was not listening to.
I was
that,
I was just about to say as a
I was
joke.
just not
I was
listening
just
to it.
about
That
to
was just
say
ended
as
up.
a joke that, oh my God, Chris started with the girls quite early.
It ended up getting me just drama I did not want to
And
be
Chris was a lover boy.
in.
And I'm talking about starting in like third grade.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about drama started in fourth
Oh
and just
my god.
continued on the rest of his life. Until this day, I'm still like, leave them alone.
Yeah, I'm chill now though. I'm cooling now.
When I tell you
Everything's
the
chill.
girl stuff was so I just couldn't believe it. When I tell people this, they're like, "Really?" I'm like, "You don't understand." Like
I was in the mix for
it
sure.
was
Young,
so bad.
I was just, and it was like honestly, when it started in third grade, it was just on accident. I didn't know it was bad to have two, three girlfriends.
Oh my
Like actually, like
god.
an official girlfriend. So like when I had a little BlackBerry, I gave me back in third grade. I mean, and now I can text them at home. It was just like I didn't know it was bad to have them right in the like class right next to us or anything, and that just went on from there.
Right.
But I mean, it was nothing that got me unfocused. It was just an extra distraction that just I could certain things I listened to. I would like if I would
Yeah.
have listened to y'all, I would have just been out then and there. Like I would have my mom made up instead of finding out for myself.
Right,
That's who I
right,
am as
right.
a person though. Like as much as you can tell me someone like something, I'm so
Yeah.
stubborn that I just like I know I finally found out. I know I gotta find out wrong for myself, which isn't good. I gotta get that done early. So
I
I gotta
have
get
learned
that
that about
fixed.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have learned that about you. So what do you wish your parents understood more about you when you were growing up? And it might be hard to answer, because it says parents and you have so many. Like, you had our
Mhm.
household and your dad's household, not to mention, spending so much time with both grandparents. But
Mhm.
I don't know if you could think of anything.
Yeah. I really got left from the whole fam for real.
I
Always had left
know,
from the whole fam.
right? But what do you wish your parents understood more about you when you were growing up?
Hearing that, I don't think it's more understanding. I think it's more accepting.
Okay.
I think it's more accepting as far as things. So, like to go into more detail. I wish, hmm, like, I wish my dad and them, like that side of the family, would kind of just accept the fact that I was making a certain decision I was making and doing what I had to do. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And
Yeah.
then not like turning that into a thing. And
Mhm.
then I wish like y'all would just accept the fact that like I'm gonna be okay. Like let me go out there, let me branch out, let me go do this. Like
Yeah.
and then like
Yeah.
I'm gonna be fine. Like I know all I care about is safety, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get out and do something to find out exactly what I wanted to do. as far as things. And like, I mean, I was always like, y'all let me outside, of course. I've always been out just doing whatever and stuff. It's not
Yeah,
even stuff like that, but it's just like, it's gonna be cool. Like, I had just certain rules that had to really apply to, being back at a certain time or
right.
not being able to ever do a certain thing. Like, it was just more accepting that that's how I was gonna find out, you know, who I was really gonna be. And then,
Yeah,
because no matter what, I'm already raised to be a respectable young man. Like no matter what, that comes off of just how y'all raised me. I think it was just accepting the fact that everything was gonna be cool.
yeah. I get that. I was a extreme I was an extreme helicopter parent when I had you. And a helicopter parent is a parent that hovers. You were my first. I had never done this. I was scared. I was like, oh my gosh. I'm
Hmm.
talking about, Chris, as he got older. And I mean, what was it? Seventh, eighth grade, when they start to go out,
Yeah.
without you and hang out with
Hmm.
friends and you wondering who they with, and then high school comes and you wonder who's driving, what's going. I
Right.
mean, it's you'll understand when you become a parent how rough it is. But I had to realize that, you know, I couldn't be a helicopter parent like that. And I had to realize that, as much as I trusted God with so many things, I just wasn't trusting him, with
Right.
you. And I had to let go. And I was like, oh my
Yeah,
God.
because y'all had already set the path for where I was going. I
Yeah.
was the path was already set. Everything was fine. You just had to really just
Yeah.
get going, just trust, have faith in it.
And I think it wasn't always you we didn't trust, You had your
It's
times,
this whole world. I wouldn't if I had a kid
Yeah,
right
it
now. I would
was
be scared. I would be so scared.
it was the world. It was some of your friends, not all, but just some. Um the ones were really tight with.
I've always been
I
around trouble. I just haven't. I've always
right.
wasn't. I've just been the one that hasn't like had the filter. I just wasn't. I
Yeah.
knew when not to do something. I
Mhm.
knew when to get away, and I knew when to just go home.
Yeah.
Like that was the one. Like I was always just that one person that like, oh, like he's cool. You do this. Like he's around, but he's never like does any of this. He's not
Yeah.
gonna do something stupid with us. Yeah.
Whew,
And
thank you,
that's what I
Jesus.
wish a lot of people
Hallelujah.
would understood too. Like that y'all would understood.
Yeah,
You know.
and that's what I wondered. I
And
always
y'all did, yeah,
wondered
y'all didn't
what
know because
Chris.
y'all did allow me to just go out. Y'all did allow me to go out, but I
Yeah.
knew I never would understand it because I never came back and be like, oh, you know what? There was this, that. Like people did that.
Well, you're never
You
gonna
know,
tell me that though. You
right,
were so quiet, like you weren't gonna tell me anyway.
right. I'm gonna just go ahead. I'm safe. I know what's going on. I know my
Right.
right mind. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it was more so the world. And then, like I
hmm
said, going back to seventh, eighth grade, that's when it really hit me like I have a black son.
hmm
Like
yeah,
the world is nuts.
that's
And
when it hit me too. That's when I realized.
yeah, I was like, I don't want him to be out and something happens just because he's black. I don't want him to be out and something happens because he's black with some other kids who are actually not doing right and
Right.
gets caught up. Like, I had all these scenarios going through my head, and, I was terrified.
Yeah, the
You
doubt
know what I mean?
scenarios,
Yeah. So I've calmed down a lot with that, even referring to
and it's
my
hard
middle
to.
son.
It's
Yeah.
really hard to like. It's really just coming to. It literally comes just to faith and knowing that God has us. Because
Yeah.
when you think about stuff like that, like it's so easy for something to happen. Like I went to QT down the street the other day with my friends. It was just four of us because we was gonna go to the gym. We came out to QT
Hmm.
and he was just posted. Of course, he just followed us and he's talking about his tents. His tents, they're not even like they're not no bad tents. You can see it in the car. He just wanted to catch us with something else, and but we're all we was doing was going to the gym. Like it's everyday stuff like that.
See, you
Thankfully,
should have
Cobb
told me
County,
that because you should have told me that because now I'm like, because I still, even with
that
you
hasn't happened in
being,
a while, but like it's just another case.
uh,
Like it
I
doesn't go
know,
anywhere. But
yeah, but just even you being, on your own apartment now, and
Yeah.
I'd be so worried. I just be like, oh my God, just wear your seatbelt. Don't give them no reason,
Hmm.
to stop you. And
Yeah.
because they will, I remember
Give you any reason.
yeah, I remember me and you and James going back and forth with, the hair and growing out the hair when
Oh
that
my
became popular
gosh.
because I didn't want you to be
Oh my
judged.
gosh.
I didn't want you to be judged,
Oh
okay?
my
But
goodness. That just
now I don't
that's a
know
whole nother
anybody.
conversation.
I
That is a
know.
whole nother conversation.
I didn't want you to be judged. I didn't want you to feel
I
like
mean,
you
I
need to look
believe
like
it.
everybody else. And, now hair is so wild, they can't judge nobody because
Yeah.
everybody got crazy hair now.
Hmm.
Like, you can't, I mean,
Because a lot of
celebrities,
kids have their head shaved off
athletes.
like mine.
Yeah.
They just not getting being able to do whatever with their hair.
Every time Chris got in trouble, we shaved his head off. We'd be like,
Hmm.
yeah, that's, oh my God. Because
Every
we
single
felt like it's
time.
like an old, like, fable, like an old wives' tale that boys act out when their hair is long. So I was
Yeah.
definitely going with
Like
that,
I
but
wasn't even. The thing is, I wasn't even doing crazy stuff. I just was always getting constant attention with trouble. That was enough to just be like grounded for
right.
something. So I was always say I had one time in seventh grade where I maybe had a little fro, and then I was gone, and then high school was fine. Finally do whatever for real.
Yeah.
And I ended up
Yeah.
cutting my hair three times in high school.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Yeah,
hair. That's a whole nother thing.
that's funny. That's funny. I remember I was like, well, how old was I? I think I was like 13. I was either 13, 12, or 14. I was like, I'm 13. I should choose what hair I
Oh
should do.
yeah.
And I was in eighth
Oh
grade. I
yeah.
was in middle school. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
but
upset.
see,
I was so
yeah.
upset. I was
Yeah.
no.
Yeah,
Oh
you
my
you
gosh, I
feel
didn't
like
want
a
to cut that.
man. You feel like a man, but we sitting there thinking like, your hormones are raging and you
Mm,
acting crazy and this
man.
and that. Yeah, the hair was a whole issue, but it really was about the fact that it was something new, and a lot of us parents just didn't like the wild hair. We
Hmm.
were just like, because having a low cut was so common.
Yeah,
It meant that it
just the
almost made you
clean.
look like
The
it's
90s was a
clean.
clean look.
Yeah,
90s,
like you
2000s,
came,
clean look.
with black families, when you have
Hmm.
that low haircut and keep it cut, it makes it seem like you came from a good family.
Yeah,
Like, and if you
off
see
rip.
them with, hair looking crazy, it kind of meant that, your home life was unstable and this and that. So
Yeah,
us
stuff that people
parents
look at
had
stuff
to,
like that. Yeah,
yeah, us parents had
it's
to get
true.
used to the fact that it was a whole trend that literally took over the whole world.
Hmm.
Like, I'm ready for it to go away, but it literally, I still don't like it. It literally took over like the whole world. I think it's super distracting, when you're in high school looking like that and in school, but it is what it is. I'm over it. I still think my Christian is super handsome, with a short haircut. But
I'm thinking about cutting these dreads off.
you keep saying that.
I'm
You
thinking
keep
about it.
saying that. I told Chris if I had like a whole bunch of money, I'd pay him to cut it off. And it's not that, I don't like it. I just like short hair better. I just think it's clean cut and, you know. All right, I got a couple questions left. What could your parents have done differently to help you succeed?
Um, and this isn't even in the case of like I'm mad at you or anything. Like this is just an answer for it, just to go for it. Is honestly just not going to Kennesaw. That's it.
Oh,
Y'all did
okay.
everything perfect. Everything is perfect. I was
We
in the
did not.
right A. I mean, okay.
Oh, okay.
As
Okay.
far as succeeding,
Yeah.
and then also just common like altercations between you and just who you're co-parenting with.
Yeah.
And other
Yeah.
than that, it was just honestly just a place because I was in the right team just growing up forever.
Yeah.
But I just don't think they had it together at that time where I needed to be, especially for my skill level.
Yeah.
And it's just yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
What do you think you could have done differently to help yourself to succeed?
Um, consistency is key. Consistency is key, and
Yeah,
like one thing James always says, never get too high, never get too low. Like
yeah,
that's big. I try to stay on top of that, but it's easy to get way too low, and
yeah,
then it's so easy to get too high, and you're just up, and you're like it's okay, like. But
yeah,
it's just going between back and forth in between that is those phases and those obstacles you face in between those.
yeah.
You just can't let those bump you too hard. You can't. And
Hmm.
now that happened a lot,
Yeah,
and it was mentally too because every day I was getting up, working my butt off, going, like I'm in the gym doing whatever,
yeah,
but just mentally it tore like it really tore a lot mentally, and it made a lot of things hard on myself where I could have just easily got over it, did what I had to do, and just stay on the road.
yeah. That's really good. That's good. I like that answer, Christian John. All right, so some of you know, and some of you may not know that I do have SLE. It's a form of lupus. I was diagnosed, what is it, 2014, 15.
Hmm.
So it wasn't like, I had health issues Christian's entire life, but it was definitely a surprise back then. What does it feel like to have a parent with a chronic illness? I also have fibromyalgia, back issues, all this stuff that kids don't tend to understand what's going on. They just know, my parent don't feel good or they're sick. But what does it feel like to have a parent with a chronic illness?
I mean, it sucks. You know, it's life, but it sucks because like just seeing someone you love so much, you just have to even worry about stuff like that on the daily. It's just so inconvenient. And then myself, as I just grow and I feel my body. I just I wonder, about the how is if it's hereditary or not. How it goes through the DNA, the genes. I
Right,
just wonder, if it affects me. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel for her because I have a lot of messed up stuff in my body, a few broken, a few fractures and stuff, and just feeling the tension between where it healed and just knowing you have to go through that without even having to get injured or anything. It's just hard. I just
right.
it's just terrible. All you can do is just research and then just love for real.
Yeah.
That's it.
I always wanted to ask that question. You know, and when my other kids get older, I want to ask them the same because now they're too young to answer,
Hmm.
um, you know, to their best ability. But yeah, that part with wondering, if it's hereditary, and which it is, I man, I am a big advocate for my kids. Like even the times where Christian has had, his injuries, going to the doctor, I'm like, I want to get him tested for autoimmune, like
Hmm.
London, Josiah, same thing. I'm like, I want to get them tested. And they turn me down a lot because they're just like, it's a fracture, man. You know. Um, my husband, his aunt has lupus as well. So just knowing that it's on both sides of the family for my other kids, oh man, that wrecks me every time. Every time Lennon, is laying around or she's like, my legs hurt. I'm always like, what you mean? How long they been hurting? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
so that is tough. And, all I've been able to do is just, pray over my kids and their kids because, it skips generations and all that stuff. If you don't know, y'all out there in the podcast world who are listening, my husband has a podcast called the Good Ground Podcast. It is the bomb, and he's about to get it started back up. But I love something that he does at the end of his podcast, and I wanted to do this with Christian because when I'm with him, I'm constantly bringing up music. When I was growing up, I was all about music and I love all kinds of music, all kinds. And
Hmm.
I thought I was a little thug, I ain't gonna lie. So I know my sisters just recently found out that the kind of music I liked back then was like real hood. So they're like, "Oh, you like the hood stuff, like Pastor
Project Pat.
Troy." Yes, Pastor Troy. Oh, yes, all that. That's me. So, but anyway, um, like I knew all the lyrics to everything. Tupac, especially when he got real hardcore. I was just like, wow. And now I'm like, I can't believe I used to listen to this stuff. But uh Christian is
I'm an artist. I got
okay.
music out. I'm an artist.
Christian John Ramsey has music out as an artist. What is your artist name?
Ramsey.
Ramsey.
Simple. Simple and
Ramsey.
lovable. A lot of people call me it.
My dad would love that.
They be like,
Christian.
Ramsey, Ramsey. Might as
Chris,
well. Until
Christian
something else
is
grows on
named,
me, I'm gonna do that.
yeah, Christian is named after my dad, um, John Ricky Ramsey. So, that's cool. I be listening to Christian's music, some of the stuff. He's not big on social media. He don't post a lot, but when he do, he'll post his songs, and I'm like, watch your mouth, Chris. Using all these cuss words.
I don't be trying to be too dirty.
Yeah, and then talking about the girls, and I'll be like, "Ooh, I can't listen. I
Mm.
can't listen. This is not for me." But I had a question for you. So, we talked one time about mumble rap,
Hmm.
and I was telling you I can't stand it. Like, what in the world? Like, this is just
Yeah,
horrible. What you feel
it's
about
different.
mumble rap?
Honestly, I enjoy mumble rap simply because I like getting into just the trap stuff too, like the beats and the way they put hard hats together. It's just fast paced, and
Yeah,
like I'm really a fast paced type of dude. I'm always fidgeting with something. So that's really what gets me because I grew up enjoying music a lot too, and dad had me playing drums, piano. I'm
yeah,
dancing, like
yeah,
I'm seeing you doing poems. I'm just like I always had a feel rhythm is great always,
yeah,
and so I enjoy all types of music too. But I feel like mumble rap. I don't ever want to say it messed up rap because it's all an art. Everything is an art, and I respect all art, no matter what it is or
yeah,
who does it. Like so it's a thing. Like they're freestyling, they're doing their own thing. That's how
yeah,
they're doing it, and they're making it work. But I feel like whenever the next real, real artist, real different artist, and when that comes back, that's gonna bring back the music game for real. Because everything sounds the same, the exact same.
yeah. It does.
Exactly. Not that not only does it you listen to the same thing over and over, you say I'm hearing the same bars, you hear the same words over and over and over.
Yeah,
It also like you get depressed from it too. Not
yeah,
depressed, but you're gonna think that all day, every day. You're not
yeah.
even out there shooting no guns or nothing, doing this and that. Like
Right.
you're gonna in that just that fast pace. You're not getting no soothe. You're not getting any good frequencies to like or like just a good melodies to your day. You're always on go. I just feel
Yeah.
like it just puts you over the edge sometimes. But again, I love mumble rap though. Like I love it. I think
How, I
one
mean,
way
how can you vibe to it if you don't understand what they're saying?
you gotta understand what they're saying. No,
How?
no, no. This is how it goes. This is how it goes with mumble rap. You either one you just gotta understand what they're saying. You gotta listen, or two, you just gotta really enjoy the beat and know how to dance and how to get rhythm and just kind of go with it. Because one thing like Young Thug, which is big, probably about mumble rap around for real, is
Yeah.
that he makes his voice an instrument on the beat. His voice is an instrument.
Yeah.
So now you got to figure out, how he's being melodic and what he's doing, and how it's matching the beat. And then that's another way to listen to it. Cause like a lot of people didn't understand. Like growing up, I was always like when mumble rap really started popping. When people would ask me like, "What I listen to music for?" I be like, "I really listen to the beat." They're like, "Bro, how you listen to songs like for the beat and stuff and like how it goes?" It's because like they're not listening as deep as I am. Like
Yeah.
I'm hearing what they're saying, but there's really a certain way you lay on a track, like stuff on a track that really just goes together well.
Right.
I'm really into like orchestra music too and jazz.
Really.
Yeah. Like a lot of video games have certain orchestra things to it, and it just really
Mhm.
grabs my attention. I think I could put that together with mumble rap, and not just mumble rap, but like kind of beats and rhythm as far as that.
Right.
And I
That's
think
dope.
that'll be my difference from everybody else.
Yeah. And that's what I hope for you, being in the music industry is to um make a difference, be your own person
Right,
because me growing up and being into music so much, um everybody was different. Nobody was the same. So
right.
it is a little weird now to turn on
Everybody
the
the exact
radio and
same.
everybody sounds the same. Either
Hmm.
you're mumble rapping or you have that whole Drake thing going on.
Yeah, the
That rapping,
singing.
singing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the rap scene. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. So
That's
that's
it.
it. That's
Which is why he
all.
was the
That's
artist of
it.
the decade, because that's all, as all people know.
Yeah. That's it. And, versus, having people like Biggie and Tupac and Jay Z and Ice Cube, they were all different. They were all in their own lane
Hmm.
and you loved all of them. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
and there was a
So,
purpose between all of them. Like
yeah,
now, it's clear cut. People just want money from it.
yeah.
They
Oh,
just want the
yeah.
money. They
Oh,
just want the money.
facts. Oh, big
Back then,
facts.
there was like like real life like stories that just need to be put down, not just because they wanted money, but like that's just how they lived. There
Yeah,
was a lot of certain things that come together that I mean a lot of people do now.
yeah,
I mean, but it just takes that extra emotion and effort into it and the realness behind it.
right.
Everything's fake in what's going on right now. Everything is so fake,
Yeah.
so
And
fake.
we had that too, here and there, but yeah, I could see that now. It is very
Hmm.
fake, and that's why Christian definitely grew up in a household where we were like, do not listen to secular music because
Yeah,
it just had gotten so horrible. It was just like, and that's me being a helicopter parent. Even now, I don't really listen to secular. Something from the '90s or back in the day will catch my attention, but I listen to a lot of gospel rap, and these rappers now don't even want to be called gospel rappers. They just want to be called rappers.
are you serious?
Yeah, they
Makes
don't.
sense.
Yeah, they want to be respected either way. But they're playing into it too. They mumble
Yeah,
rapping now. They
yeah.
sound like Drake.
They got Take Keith on the beat and stuff. You
Oh
played that
man,
one
I don't
song I
think.
heard Take Keith. I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
When did that happen?
right, and I don't even know them, but when you said that, I said, "See, look at that." Like I'm
Yeah,
just, and it's no judgment there, but it's
they
like
not. I mean, they
you
doing what they
know,
gotta do.
we are
But
supposed to be
you
different
saying
though.
the
But
gospel rap like they changed the gospel. I never knew that, but I always like
yeah,
kind of wondered. It was like had that feeling that that's what they were kind of doing for real. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
ain't nothing wrong with it.
right. But because I was such a big rap fan, that's why I listen so much gospel rap. It's just I like beats. I like rhymes. I am also a poet. It just
Right.
comes naturally.
You just
But
like how people put things together.
yeah, but big fan of Andy Mineo because he has kept, you know, his own personality through it all. He got some hits that sound, a little Drakeish and all that. Like I
I
was
don't
listening
even know
one
who that
time,
is. You said
James was
who? I'm
like,
finna
"Is
search
that
him
Drake?"
up.
Andy Mineo.
How you
Ray
spell
was
it?
like, "Is that Drake?" I said, "No, it's Andy. Andy, and his
Oh yeah, I
last
see
name
that. I see that.
Mineo." Yeah. Yeah, I'm a big fan. You know what I mean? Like he's been out for a long time and
Hmm.
he stays consistent. You know what I mean? Like he just stays in his own lane. Um but anyway, um I do hope that you make a name for yourself, that that nobody can compare you to anybody else,
I need a
you know?
positive name.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to be in no drama or anything.
right.
It's another way to be able to get my family to
Yeah,
be in a place above the last generation. 'Cause that's the point. We
yeah.
just gotta keep doing that.
Okay, so beside your love for music. What do you like to do in your spare time, or what do you care about?
Basketball. Basketball doesn't go nowhere. I love basketball. I dream, eat, sleep basketball for real. I mean, even as I'm not playing anything organized, I'm at the age where that dream could still be my dream. I mean, that really doesn't go anywhere. In life, I could be successful in basketball, but
Yeah,
still a big dream. And with my IQ, I just carry on with what I know and just keep going. And, like basketball really is a lifestyle. It applies to everything. And
yeah,
that's why one thing y'all helped me realize growing up in the household was like it really is coming. It all comes full circle together
yeah.
in life.
It
I do
does.
that. Um, I take photos. Also, I'm trying to get my look back
Oh,
right.
nice.
Trying to get my clothes up. You know what I'm saying?
I always told you could model, but you didn't pay me no mind.
Yeah, I'm getting into it, and then just working my butt off for real. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, I feel you. And speaking of basketball and all that, it's so weird. Like our life was nothing but it for so long,
Hmm.
with Christian. I mean, packing the kids up.
You
They
know
were
what I think of? I've
babies.
never really told y'all how much like I appreciate y'all for what y'all did for it, because like growing up, like seeing Joe and London grow up, it's
Yeah.
just like wow, y'all really had me out there for real from the get and the jump consistently. I really appreciate that.
Oh, well, we saw the talent and we were going for it. We
Hmm.
knew it was something you loved. You were, amazingly great at it, or you still are. And,
So of course I am.
and your siblings, they had to we had to put their stuff on the side, like wait, because we were just too busy with you.
Right,
We had to wait literally till you
right.
graduated and stuff to even think about trying to do stuff with them. But
Hmm.
it's so
I
funny,
appreciate that.
Josiah's walking in Chris's footsteps, same schools, all that. So going to his games, football and basketball, it's so weird, going and parking behind Kennesaw Mountain to pick up JoJo from practice. Oh my gosh, it's like deja vu. It's just so crazy. I'm like, we've done this before for so long. But JoJo has it hard when people find out who his older brother is.
Mm.
They assume he has the same
My
kind of talent, and kids are different, so it's funny. But Christian
boy
John,
gonna be right for sure though. I got
he could,
two beasts coming up,
yeah, yeah,
both in the same grade too. They finna get it done.
yeah. Are they really?
Hmm.
I didn't even realize that. All right, JoJo and Tino, they gonna do it. They
For
gonna get
sure.
it done. I have one more question for you. When it comes to the term delivered from people, what does that phrase mean to you? How does that apply to your journey to adulthood?
Um, Shout out to DFP by the way. Go ahead, and go
Ooh,
get y'all
ooh.
merch. Um, I honestly just believe that everyone has their own season. Everybody's going through their own things, and if you're sitting back waiting on somebody to tell you how they feel or the reaction or just any opinion, then you're gonna get stuck. You're never gonna grow. But being delivered from people can almost help you deliver you from yourself too, because now you understand yourself, you know your worth, and it just helps you grow up to where you want to be.
Big facts, Chris. Big facts. It first and foremost, it helps you to become delivered from yourself. I love that. Christian John, thank you for being on this episode.
Of course, I
I
appreciate you so
appreciate it.
much.
Been trying to do this for months and we finally got it done.
You sure did.
Um, for all of y'all listening out there, I just want to encourage, you know, healthy communication and conversation between parents and your kids, especially when they get to be, in that 20-year age range. It's just good to continue to have talks and, you know, and not wait so long to have these serious conversations. But I
Hmm.
hope you guys are encouraged. Christian John, I pray that your latter will be greater than your past.
Appreciate it.
And I believe that for you. And God's going to do great things in your life and continue to do great things. And I love you so much.
I love you so much.